If you stick it out for a semester or two, then it's difficult to get the kids to come home. I had a tough time getting my son to come home, and he wanted to come home and right away too, and I wouldn't let him. So, you know, enjoy that time, because you'll never have that kind of, I hate to say freedom, because remember, freedom is cool, but you got to be responsible. And just to say do whatever you want is not really the message. It's do things, but understand that there are ramifications behind everything that you do. And sometimes our behaviors can be extremely damaging to us for a long period of time. So you got to remember all of that, but take advantage of going to college, because it is a good time. And you'll never ever have a time like that again in your life. Because you're right between someone taking care of you and accepting responsibility. You're in this vacuum for a period of time, and it's a good experience. So take advantage of it. Prosser doesn't care what religion you are. He always says Merry Christmas. That's right. And happy holidays. This is due to the fact that your devotion for Prosser must come before your devotion to religion. Well, that's not exactly right. It's Christmasification. Come on. This is the United States of America. It's a national holiday. Christmas is a national holiday. So we don't have a holiday named holiday. We have a holiday named Christmas. Right? Okay. It's just logic. Every student's lifelong goal is to have their picture on Prosser's wall. If your picture does not make it to Prosser's wall, you have failed, and you should realize your disappointment to everyone around you. That's pretty much true. If you have your picture placed on Prosser's wall, you must go through a strict review process. You will be called in for a formal interview, and it is required that you wear a suit. Prosser will then ask you to state your intentions for wanting your picture on the wall. If you answer correctly, you will then be moved on to the final stage, where Prosser must meditate over your picture for 3 straight nights. If you lose, your picture will be allowed on the wall. Well, it's not that difficult. If Prosser legalized marijuana, if California legalizes marijuana in the next 10 years, everyone in the class owes him a Coke, as I called that. Okay, I think it will be. California needs to do something to make some money, so we might as well go into the drug business, because there's a lot of money out there. B-22 is not a room, it's a house. In the case of a lockdown, we are all invited to live in his house. Students are allowed to use his microwave to cook the students who die first, in order to feed the survivors. Prosser understands and has a deep respect for President Obama's swagger. This was his primary reason for voting for him. You sure I voted for him? Third parties never win elections. They never do. But that may change this time too, in 2012. We may see for the first time a third party actually do something. If you agree with affirmative action, Prosser will literally kick you in the face. He worked just as hard as the black guy to be a fireman. That wasn't cool. I just don't believe that we should get anything that we don't deserve, okay? When in college, you can only survive on potatoes. Well, actually, that's true. I did for a while. They're cheap. Prosser always orders fries with his hamburger, therefore you should too. When washing your car, expect crazy things to happen. Seeing a man being dragged by his hair across the street by a car is just another day in the life of Prosser. The back closet thing, it's not a closet, it's an office, you guys. Behind Prosser's desk is actually a doorway to, what is this?
Narnia.
Narnia?
Narnia.
What's it called?
Narnia.
Narnia?
You've never heard of Narnia?
Is that from Harry Potter?
No.
What is that?
The Chronicle of Narnia.
What is it called? The wardrobe?
From what?
Prince Caspian.
Oh, book.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
It's a game if he says it's a game.
Oh no.
A story is deemed worthy by Prosser if he repeats it 3 times without realizing he's already told you this before. That's just old age, you guys. Prosser is your favorite teacher. If he hears you have a favorite teacher besides him, he will strangle said teacher in their sleep. Prosser isn't just a noun, it's a verb. And believe me, you don't want to be Prosser. Prosser doesn't accept defeat. If we fail to pass the AP exam, Prosser reserves the right to remove all TVs, radios, posters, fans, microwaves, chairs, tables from the room and simply stare at us for the remainder of the year. It can happen. Prosser could sell ice to a polar bear. Only Prosser could make the principal believe that a class trip to see Pearl Harbor is actually an educational experience. It's true. It's all in the salesmanship, you guys. Remember that. Okay. Why Prosser hates rap music. 2 favorite words of every rapper, bitches and hoes. The least 2 favorite words of Mr. Prosser, bitches and hoes. I just don't think you should be using them with each other. Sometimes they're appropriate. A dog is a bitch. Okay? But, you know, when you call your best friend, come here, ho. Or your girlfriend. You say, you know, you have a girlfriend, you say, come on, ho, let's go. That's a little much, you guys. You gotta admit. Snoop Dogg can get away with it. He's a gangster. You gotta understand that. Okay. Prosser is the inspiration for the most interesting man in the world. Commercials. They even have an uncanny resemblance. Prosser doesn't advocate killing people unless they break into your home. Then, by all means, kill the dude. That's right. Prosser rolls with an elite group of homies. One of his friends, Pete Johnson, had his house in Top Gun. That's right. When facing a gunman and you only are equipped with a bat, always remember WWMPD. What would Mike Prosser do? And then remember that Prosser would try to hit him so hard his head would fall off and his brains would be splattered on the wall. You've got to make sure he goes down. You don't want to miss tapping. You want to make sure you hurt him. Because you don't want him getting up. Remember, he has a gun. Prosser will never retire. One day, in mid-sentence, he'll just die in his rocking chair. And 3 days later, he'll rise again. He's that awesome.